Alright, so I'm installing DietPi on my Raspberry Pi right now, and I thought it'd be a good idea to record what I'm doing. So what I've done so far is that I've downloaded the image and flashed it already to an SD card and plugged that SD card into the Raspberry Pi, plugged in the Ethernet and the power. Now what I have to do is to find the Raspberry Pi on my network. I can do that in a few ways. One of those ways is going into my router and seeing what devices are connected. Should see this. Looks like it's on this IP address, and let me see what the username is by default. So the username by default is root, password is pi. Let me open up a shell. Oh, it's because I spelled root incorrectly. Alright, sweet. Now I have the setup screen, I think. Yeah, let's set it up. Okay, so this is asking me to change the global password. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna change this as well. I don't know what password I changed before, but I'm gonna make them the same password, so it doesn't really matter. This is where you install stuff, I guess. For now, I'm just gonna keep the SSH server, drop bear. I don't really care about these too much, so I'm just gonna hit install. Yep, I'm just gonna have a minimal image for now. Okay, looks like I am booted into the root user. I'm gonna exit out of this really quick, and then do DietPi. Okay, so I'm in the DietPi user. I just logged out and then logged back in. Okay, so I'm just gonna quickly update this just to make sure everything is actually updated. Okay, looks like there are no updates. Things that I will need are, I'm gonna need Vim, I'm gonna need Nginx, and I think that's about it. Probably should have installed Git as well. I'm gonna add Git to this. I'm gonna make a sites folder. And then I'm just gonna clone this. I'm gonna copy this working directory because I'm gonna need it in a bit. But for now, let's go over to the Nginx directory, or Nginx directory. Okay, so Nginx.conf sources its other configurations from sites enabled, so that's what I'm going to do. All the sites are usually in sites available and then symlinked over to sites enabled, so I'm just going to do the same thing. Okay, so let's see what this default has so far. Okay, so let's see what's in this default file. Okay, so a bunch of server stuff. I'm probably gonna remove the symlink. This is what I want right here, this whole server thing. So I'm just gonna copy this. Looks like I have to do sudo. Okay, so it's gonna listen on port 80. I'm gonna remove the server name for now. This root is what I'm gonna change to the thing I had before. Oop, that's not what I wanted to do. So this root is the location where I put my site earlier, which is here. And yeah, let's see if this works. So I should be able to use systemd to stop the Nginx server and then start it up again. Alright, so this is the IP address for it, so I should just be able to put this into my browser, and it shows me Nginx. Okay. Forgot to do one thing. What you have to do is in sites enabled, there will be a default. Let's which is a symlink to here, this file here. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna remove this default. Actually, instead of removing this default, let's just go up a directory into sites enabled and just remove the default. Okay, now we're gonna soft link this. We're gonna soft link this file into the sites enabled directory. All right, I had to do that with sudo, but no problem. So let's stop the server and start up again. I'll hit Control-Shift-R to refresh, and the site's here. It works. So that's how you would basically do a super basic static website with Nginx on a server or a Raspberry Pi, or if you have a VPS. I probably wouldn't recommend a VPS because it's just a static server. It doesn't even need that. Like, mine's hosted on GitHub Pages. But if you wanted to, let's try to connect a what are these called? Domain name to it. So I have a few ones that I've collected in the past year or two. So let's do this one, because actually, let's do this one. Alright, I'm back into domain.com. I was going to use helpusget.online as the domain name. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to go over to DNS and name servers. Don't want to change the name servers. Okay, so you need to go into DNS records, and it seems as though that everything here is, or there's like a lot of default stuff here. So I'm just going to edit this to use my Diet Pi IP instead of my, or whatever this is. I actually don't know what it is. I'll just set this priority to 1, and I'll change this IP to my IP and then hit update DNS. Okay, so now that that's done, we can actually try to get to helpusget.online, and hopefully it brings us to this page. Okay, so I just went into port forwarding, added the IP for my Diet Pi, and what port, put 80 in because that's the HTTP port, and let's try this now. Okay. So this looks like made a problem or an error inside of the one of the configurations. So, alright, so this location thing is what I suspect is incorrect, so I'm just going to remove this. Okay, sweet. So now we have this working. Yeah, let's try SSL. Let's try making this HTTPS because right now it's not secure. Okay, so let's try to install Python 3 so we can get certbot installed. Most of this probably could have been avoiding by actually using the installer at the beginning, but yeah, when they meant minimal install, they meant minimal install. Okay, so looks like there is a Nginx plugin for certbot, so here's what we're going to do. We have pip installed, so I'm going to do pip3, and we're going to install certbot, but also certbot Nginx. Just really quickly, I'm going to do sudo so I don't get any problems later on. I'll let that install and then I'll be back. There's one small little issue that we haven't fixed yet. Before there was a specific line here that basically served as the host name. I forget how to do that, so I'm just going to go into default and it's just server name and then example.com. Okay, so all you need to do is server name. This was help us get online. I don't know why the tabbing is messed up, but yeah. So this is what it should be, because in here, this is what the server name was. This is going to be our host name, and now we are finally ready to run this command. Alright, the first prompt is to enter your email address. The next prompt is just agreeing to the terms of service. For this prompt, I'm just going to be saying no, and this is the only name I would like to activate HTTPS for, so I'm just going to put in 1, and pressing enter, and now it's waiting for verification. Alright, so now it says my connection is secure. Now you have a site with working HTTPS. Okay, that's it.